Athletes. They're just like us, am I right? Despite making more money in 1 year than we'll see in a lifetime, performing post-human feats on the field, and copulating by the thousands, they too are just as insecure, paranoid, and sensitive bitches like everyone else. For every Kawhi Leonard who's able to let everything roll off his back like a duck, there's 10 times as many pros who buy premium real estate in comment sections, use more burners than The Wire, and feud with the media like the Montagues and Capulets.
If it wasn't for Romeo and Juliet, I would have totally overreacted when my fiancée killed herself.
Just to be clear, sensitivity does not correlate with physical toughness. In this video, it's defined mostly by an athlete's ability to take criticism, handle showboating from their opponents, and deal with the media. Just about anyone who's made it this far is tough, so for those purposes, sensitivity does not equal toughness. Otherwise, a certain basketball player who suffered a certain injury during Game 5 of the NBA Finals wouldn't qualify, but using a wheelchair when you had to poop does. Fire up those auxiliary accounts and grab the invisible rulebook because we're counting down the top 5 most sensitive athletes in sports. Number 5, Trevor Bauer. Cleveland Indians pitcher Trevor Bauer is the answer to the hypothetical, what if Alex Jones could throw a filthy slider?
Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of
Besides slicing his finger open in a drone accident during the 2016 postseason and making an all-star appearance in 2018, the 28-year-old Indians righty is known for his fringe politics and bizarre Twitter presence. Let's start with the politics, and by politics, I mostly mean the conspiracy theories. During one of his starts in May of 2018 against the Cubs, Bauer carved BD 911 into the mound, visible for cameras to see. Most people took that as shorthand for Bush did 9/11. However, Bauer responded to the backlash on Twitter by calling the accusations ridiculous and saying the cryptic BD 91.1 was personal to him, whatever that means. If that's not enough, Bauer claimed to vote for Donald Trump in 2016, then denied voting at all, denied climate change, and implied his belief that President Obama wasn't born in the United States. He also accused the Astros of doctoring the ball and increasing spin rates with glue. That one's believable.
I have no accusations against them at all. I've never made any, and I'm not accusing them of cheating. That being said,
among other tweets that would lead one to think his diaper was full, Bauer told a woman to quit life and that he had never met a Native American who found the Chief Wahoo logo racist. That's plausible. At best, Bauer is a weird dude, and without the sub-4 ERA, he would be just another weirdo espousing some outlandishness on Twitter, which is 90% of the accounts I follow. But since he's a major league pitcher, and a good one at that, we get a think piece for every dumb tweet. Number 4, Cam Newton. When you don't dive on a loose ball, if the difference between a recovery and a turnover could mean winning or losing the Super Bowl, there are going to be some questions. Panthers quarterback Cam Newton did not want to answer those questions. After losing to the Broncos by 14 points in Super Bowl 50, a sullen, monosyllabic Cam Newton was none too pleased to have to face the media after losing the biggest game of his life after embarking on a magical 15-1 MVP season. Whether it was being specifically asked about shying away from contact when his crucial fourth quarter fumble was bouncing on the turf, or Broncos cornerback Chris Harris being gleefully interviewed within earshot, Newton got up and left his media availability mid-session. At Newton's passing academy in 2017, a heckler asked Cam, "Did you tell Von Miller Happy Father's Day?" which caused the former league MVP to snap and get in the kid's face. Is it unfair to be forced to relive the worst moment of your career again and again? Asked Joe Theismann. Probably, but the only way to shut up the naysayers is to either avenge the loss or to not be a sore loser. And since Cam is yet to do either, it seems he'll be on trial for that fumble for the rest of his life. Number 3, Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is what happens when an adult never grows out of the taking my ball and going home phase of childhood. He's a lock for Canton and maybe a top 5 receiver of all time. But even when no defensive back in the league was capable of stopping him, it took his Steeler teammates to slow him down in Pittsburgh. because of a very public feud with Big Ben and some unbridled jealousy that Juju Smith-Schuster was awarded team MVP over him. AB's time in Pittsburgh very quickly and unceremoniously ended, culminating in his benching ahead of a must-win Week 17 game in 2018. The future Hall of Famer left one of the most respected franchises in the NFL for the Raiders, where Hall of Fame receivers always flourish. Not only that, but he got out of town faster than furniture falling from a 13-story building. However, we applaud this decision. No, not because Antonio Brown is going to thrive in Oakland and Las Vegas, but because HBO's Hard Knocks will be there for all the ups and many downs. God, that is TV gold. AB may have the biggest chest and the blondest mustache this side of the Three Rivers, but he's never quite figured out how to shake off criticism like he shakes off corners. Number 2, Brian McCann. Are you trying to flip a bat, pimp a homer, or otherwise enjoy yourself while playing the game of baseball? Not on Brian McCann's watch. Dubbed the fun cop, Braves catcher Brian McCann has taken upon himself to uphold baseball's unwritten rules, most of which were never written down because nobody who is that stupid can actually read and write. Among his most unnecessary moments of outrage, McCann blocked Carlos Gomez from crossing home plate in 2013 after the Brewers outfielder showed up Freddie Freeman and pitcher Paul Maholm, no relation to Pat, while rounding the bases on a home run. McCann refused to make way and yelled in Gomez's face, which sparked a dugout clearing brawl that resulted in 3 ejections. Then in that same season, the late Marlins ace Jose Fernandez hit his first career dinger off the Braves, but unfortunately, he admired that milestone too long for Sheriff McCann's liking. McCann once again got in the perpetrator's face and expressed his displeasure, and sure enough, the dugouts emptied quicker than a Warriors crowd after a home loss. Brian McCann proves time and time again that unwritten rules should stay unwritten and that he's really just Dwight Schrute with a quick release. Number 1. Kevin Durant. Slithering his way into the top of this list is the Slim Reaper himself, the Durantula, the Durantaconda. I think you know who I'm talking about. After blowing a 3-1 lead in the 2016 Western Conference Finals, beloved Thunder forward Kevin Durant shifted the balance of the power in the NBA overwhelmingly to Golden State when he joined a 73-9 Warriors team that had just blown their own 3-1 lead to LeBron's Cavs. Never has an athlete gone from such a beloved figure to public enemy number 1 in the course of just one day. Well, there was this one time. Nope, Kevin Durant is the only athlete to lose America's adulation in just one single day. Okay, there was this other time. It's not just that he embodies the spirit of, if you can't beat him, join him. It's that KD is unwilling to accept the backlash that comes with that kind of decision, especially the blowback on the interwebs. Once upon a time, Durant's social media was a whimsical place where the most controversial tweets included the ingestion of a certain actress's bathwater. But now it's where he takes it upon himself to respond to naysayers, whether they're media or a random high schooler. Of course, there are other Twitter users that come to his defense. The only problem is those Twitter accounts also happen to be Kevin Durant. Back in 2017, KD got busted for running fake accounts when he accidentally came to his own rescue before logging out. While KD has proved nothing if not insecure online, we have to hand it to him for his toughness and resilience in the 2019 NBA Finals and wish him a full and speedy recovery. Just don't make any lighthearted jokes about it. You might get this kind of reaction.
That Kevin Durant told me he wants to play for them next year.
While we won't question their resolve playing their respective sports, there are plenty of athletes that need a lesson in turning the other cheek. Athletes, like most public figures, are, for better or worse, held to a higher standard than the rest of us when it comes to accepting criticism. Is that fair? Maybe, maybe not. But at the end of the day, they'll always have their millions of dollars to console them, so usually that should be enough to keep them off of Twitter when the trolls come calling. But when you're unable to overlook all of that and still come across as sensitive as the YouTube copyright rules, you'll always have a place on this list.
I don't really have a lot to comment on that, except that he was being a pussy.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to follow @WillKey6 on Twitter. He wrote this damn movie. And don't forget to watch my other videos on sports and jam that subscribe button. I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it to the end of this video, Nancy boy.